Since the start of 2025, there's been a big shift in lead gen and what's working well in real estate, and it's led to beginner realtors having what seems like an overnight success. The entry level for realtors wanting to scale their business and having success hasn't been this low in a very long time. The Facebook ads era seems to be over. And it feels like we've hit the start of a trend where there's a massive gap between those who are taking advantage of video and YouTube ads and those who are stuck back in 2012. In this video, I'm going to review everything that you need to know about how to create winning YouTube ad campaigns that get you dozens and dozens of clients. But before I get into the content, I have some bad news. This video is going to be over 20 minutes long. So if you don't have the attention span to watch this video for 5 minutes and take notes, sorry to tell you, but you're probably not going to make it. We're going to cover the landscape in 2025, why video is the highest leverage asset you can have, how to create banger YouTube ads, going over how to script them, and then how to actually create and record them, and then how to create lead magnets and offers. This way, you can see my entire system for putting YouTube ads on easy mode and replicating my exact process. So here's the current landscape. In 2025, the reality is trust is at an all-time low. You have to know this. Most people have been burned by an agent one way or another, whether it's through the lack of transparency or it's over-promising, under-delivering. The resistance gap and barrier has been increasing ever since 2023, 2024, honestly, even in 2020. And you want to look at it like after you get heartbroken, right? The next relationship is never the same, and you're very slow to actually trust that person to get back. So because of this, there's been a decline of Facebook ads. And it's not just also due to the fact that trust is at an all-time low, but it's also due to the fact that there's been a rising in competition and costs in the ad spend. And specific statistics point that real estate ad spend on Facebook has increased 340%, 340% from 2020 to 2024. That's pretty crazy. Average CPM for real estate, $18 to $25. In pre-2021, we're looking at $6 to $8. So we're looking at triple, almost quadruple the amount of your CPM, whether it's cost per lead or cost per book appointment for the real estate niche specifically. And the click cost, forget it. For like sell my house keywords, you're looking at $45 to $75. And this has caused the lead quality to decline as agents are bidding against each other for the same exact audiences that they're all targeting for the same people using the same offers. And this caused the ad fatigue to accelerate, meaning the ads themselves. And these audiences that are being shown all these videos are burning out faster because they're seeing the same things every single day, the same offers by every agent. And you're just looking like, well, every other agent. So why would they want to work with you? And the thing I tell all my agents is think about trying to sell directly to a cold lead, right? When you go up to a person, assuming like they have loose interest in selling their home, but they've never met you before, have ever seen you in your life, and you say, hey, Mr. Stranger, you want me to sell your home? Nowadays, people are going to have a huge resistance barrier because of the trust recession. And they're going to probably say something along the lines of, well, I have no idea who you are, if you're even good. And even if you have a track record, I'm skeptical of all the agents because I've been burned before, right? But with this being said, what if they actually ended up trusting you before they even had a chance to speak to you? And so on the flip side, for someone that has built trust with you, their services, their products have higher value because you believe what they say they do, right? And video is the most leveraged way to build trust because it's like spending time with you. And the more time someone spends with you, the more they're going to know, like, and trust you, right? And the beauty is you can dish your video out to multiple hundreds, millions of people, and you can have these conversation-like approaches with them without even having to talk to them one-on-one and spending that time. So the perceived value goes up because they know you, they've seen you before, and YouTube, specifically long-form content, allows for one-on-one trust at scale because they feel like they're having that one-on-one conversation. So this is a massive opportunity because YouTube is heavily underused. Only 12% of real estate ad spend actually goes to YouTube in 2025. This isn't a 2024 statistic. This is right now. Versus Facebook, 68%, and then the other 20 going to Google pay-per-click, which I don't even know, why agents really even do this anymore. But 67% of real estate searches now start with video content. So the average YouTube session is anywhere from, 40 minutes to like 50 minutes, as opposed to when you go on Facebook, about 2 to 3 minutes you spend on average on Facebook scrolling, and then you just get off of it. And the other key statistic to understand here is that YouTube reaches 95% of US adults monthly. 95%. Everybody you know has seen a YouTube video, practically, unless you're living under a rock, which, maybe 5% of people are. That's where they're at. And 73% of users say video influences their purchasing decisions. So with all this being said, as you can tell, it's an unsaturated market. When you're out there, you're posting video content, not only are you building trust at scale, but you're not competing with every other agent in your area because most agents just simply don't want to do it, right? And so there's plenty of behavioral advantages to this. Users are in the learning mode rather than scrolling mode. And so because of this, there's higher engagement with longer form content because people are actually watching it to learn. And because of this, there's less ad fatigue because of content consumption intent. Okay. People are going to watch your stuff longer. They're going to trust what you're saying more because they're in that learning mode. And Google itself has superior demographic and psychographic data. They know you better than you know you, as many say, because of how much information that they have, because of how many websites you go on. They can track every bit of data, everything you click. If you're on Google, they've tracked it. They know you. And because of this, you can then cross-platform retargeting all over Google's ecosystem, whether it's Discover ads, there's all different types of stuff we're going to break down a little bit in the video. So let's honestly just break it down right now. So how do you actually create these YouTube ads that we're talking about? We're going to go over that right now. So the first thing you want to understand is there are different types of video ads, and there are 3 main formats on YouTube to actually focus on, especially when you're in the real estate niche. Okay. And they're going to have different strategies, different filming styles, setting, etc. But the 3 are in-stream skippable ads, discovery ads, and then YouTube short ads. Now, there are a bunch of other ones as well, but these are the 3 ones that we're going to focus on in today's video. And the first one is in-stream skippable ads. I always seem to say that like tongue twister. But the best use cases for these are getting high value lead generation. So whether you're looking for seller leads or high quality buyers, you're brand building in newer markets, you're retargeting warm audiences, and you want to post educational content that pre-qualifies the leads when they're coming in. Okay. So think about it like this. Within the first 5 seconds, the user has the ability to skip, and you're not even charged for those who skip. So honestly, make your videos 30 seconds to a minute long. There's different formats you can have. Obviously, the hook, story, close framework is best. Hook engages the viewer, keeps the retention up, gets them to watch more. And in the body, or the story, you're gonna break down exactly what the hook was talking about. You're gonna fulfill, let's say you make a promise, a bold promise in the hook. You're gonna fulfill that. What I like to do is an area call out plus a bold promise in the hook, fulfill that in the body, have some case studies, and then have a call to action that redirects them to a page that has some sort of value that showcases your expertise, builds that trust, case closed, you're done. Then the other thing is discovery ads. So this is YouTube search results. This is just like a picture. Basically, what you can do here, and the best case scenario for this is targeting high intent keywords in the YouTube search. So this is just basically the new Google pay-per-click. And it appears alongside organic video results. So the beauty of that is if there are organic videos that consumers are watching, you're going to pop up next to them. And if you have the right headline, you can get people to your page. And if you have the right landing page approach, you can get good deals out of this as well. And so you're going to want to drive this traffic to your lead magnets on these landing pages. Provide some sort of value. Build that trust as fast as possible. There needs to be an exchange going on. It's not just, hey, work with me because, well, I'm great. You need to show yourself. You need to show exactly why they should trust you in the first place. And finally, we have YouTube Shorts ads. And basically, the only point of these is to basically drive awareness. And these are top of funnel focused, basically just to get people aware, keep you top of mind. And you can do things like behind the scenes, quick tips, and market updates for this. And the goal is to get people driven to your channel to watch more videos so then they can see these skippable in-stream ads so that they can be put into your ecosystem. They can build that trust and then they can make that move. Don't expect these YouTube short ads to just instantly convert high quality sellers that are ideal for you, that are going to be working in your market. These are an indirect way to drive traffic. That traffic then gets retargeted over and over again. Your stuff gets repurposed by the mere exposure effect. Let's say they then decide to opt into one of your lead magnets where they can consume value, build that trust, and then they can become clients. You can nurture them through your systems. But this is a top of funnel focused platform. So now you know the different formats. You need to know how to actually script these ads now. So there's a general rule of thumb, and you should aim to create ads that are actionable, effortless to consume, reflect your personality, they feel good, they're entertaining and humorous, and they're aligned with the viewer's awareness visually, okay? So you can take a screenshot of this, but basically the point of all of this is you want ads that resonate with your ideal customer profile, okay? And you want to make it as convenient as possible for them, okay? Natural, effortless, actionable. Remember that, okay? And in this, you're going to make them feel good. Indirectly, it's going to make it entertaining and humorous. And if you're reaching out to your ideal prospect, it's going to align with their awareness level. And so it's broken down into different aspects. The first being the hook. And this is the first 5 to 15 seconds. And this is where your ads are going to see the largest drop off. Okay. So if you can improve this and you can have actually people watch the rest of your ad, you're in. And this is why it's 80% of the ad success, because if people aren't watching past the hook, you're wasting money. Okay. Now, obviously, you're not charged for those who are watching only 5 seconds of the ad and they skip them, if you have skippable in-stream ads, of course. But if people are watching, let's say 15 seconds, which is still part of a hook, now you're in the range where you're being charged for it. And Google obviously wants to make money, and they're going to skip the first 5 seconds. So they're going to figure out who's ideal. But if you're noticing 15 seconds in, people are still not watching your stuff, your hooks are probably not that good and you need to switch them, like immediately. And in order to change this, you need to figure out how to actually approach these different hooks in frameworks that actually work on human psychology. So there are 10 different types of hooks that you can use, and you can just take a screenshot of the winning formats. The one that I use the most is a question hook. So have you ever wondered how much money your home is worth in 2025? And another one that I do is a area call out. So like if you're anywhere in or around area, this message is specifically for you. If you're a homeowner anywhere in or around area, this message is specifically for you. And another one that's really good is the storytelling hook. So I went from negative $150,000 in debt to over $5 million in 3 years. This is my story, right? And you can take a screenshot of these, but these are the winning formats that get people hooked in, get them intrigued to watch the rest of your video. Another thing to keep in mind is using simple language. So when writing your hook, use language that appeals to a broad audience. And you want to aim for a reading level below the 5th grade, okay? Because using words like prospects, ROI are not going to resonate with everybody. You'd rather use simpler terms like customer or returns, okay? And by using this easier to understand language, you can reach more people, retain more people, and this is going to increase the chances of the YouTube algorithm recommending your video to viewers outside of your current audience, right? And then step 2 is the actual body. So you've now at this point, because your hook reeled them in, you need to deliver the meat and bones of the ad. And this is going to determine if the viewer is actually going to take an action on the call to action within the ad. So it's whether it's booking a call on your calendar, whether it's driven to a landing page to consume a lead magnet. You need to make this part convincing. Arguably, obviously, this is more important. But if you don't have a good body and you have a good hook, the ad is still going to fail, okay? And so the formats that I use, there are 3 different formats that are, obviously it's context dependent on your lead magnet, your offer, your value proposition, your storyline, all that kind of stuff. And this is why you want to create body variations. But there are 3 general winning formats that I use. And the number one usually is the social proof and credibility one. And another one is teach. So problem and solution, give them the what and not the how. The how is your lead magnet, okay? Give them what problems they're having, the potential solutions to the what in that lead magnet. And that's going to get them to actually take the action. And then also unique mechanism and benefits. And if you're creative, if you combine all 3 of these in one ad, you're going to end up like me and what my agents are doing. And you can get yourself a winning ad that's actually going to print, generate money for months and months and potentially even years. And so finally, now once you have your script down, you have a great script, a good hook, a good storyline, a good call to action, you need the actual video to come out halfway decent. And here's the common misconception, is that you need some pro camera in order for this to work. Literally 50 to 60% of my agents use their phone to record the videos. And what I tell them is lighting and the microphone quality matters more than the actual quality of the camera itself. You need yourself to be in a decent lighting situation. Obviously, your background can't be absurd and, driving the viewer away from you. But if you're just in a simplistic background with a phone recording yourself and you have a decent microphone where they can actually hear you, in a decent way, it's going to make that much more difference than worrying about spending, hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars on a DSLR camera. But number one, if I had to critique, is the audio quality itself. You want to make it clear and crisp for engaging your audience. And things like muffled sounds, background noise, echoes, these are all things that are distracting and make your content difficult to understand. So if you have a good microphone and you want to invest in one, I would highly suggest it. And honestly, it's even mandatory depending on how bad your microphone is. You want to make sure your audio is captured clearly and professionally. And if not, your video is probably going to not do well because, you're going to have muffled sounds, background noise, or echoes. Anything like that is going to turn the viewer away. Next up is the video quality itself, which is under the priority of the audio quality. And obviously, the higher the video quality, the higher you're going to enhance the visual appeal of your ads. But you need to know the right camera, the lens, the lighting equipment that's going to help you achieve those well exposed and visually interesting footage types, right? And poor quality video is going to make your content appear amateurish and just simply less engaging. And so, for example, just a beginner setup, an iPhone 10 or newer ideally, and an Android equivalent to that is all you need for the camera itself. And then just a tripod to set it up. So obviously you're not having someone hold it and shaking all over the place. Then this is the thing that's probably going to cost the most is the DJI mic. It's can range from anywhere from $100 to like $300-$400. You can start with a pretty decent $100 DJI mic, which is just a wireless mic that connect to your phone. And that's where most of your investment's going to probably go into recording. And next up is the natural lighting. So for natural lighting, all you can do sometimes is just go to a window where you have natural tons of light. Literally what I'm doing right now as we speak. I just have natural lighting in the background. And this background is also simplistic. It highlights me so that people can focus. My voice, obviously that has to do with the microphone, but so they can visually also cohesively be able to engage and enhance the experience of the actual video that I'm producing and putting out there as well. So if you have a bit of a more budget and you want to just have an advanced setup, you can get like something like a podcast microphone, like the one I have here, the Shure MV7 Plus. You can get a Sony ZV-E10 camera. This is pretty industry standard for any marketing, ads, etc. The Sigma 60mm 1.4 aperture lens. This one is actually more important than the actual camera itself. You need a good lens or else the camera is going to be trash. And then you can get like softbox lighting as well in order to create artificial lighting that can make you look good, whether it's night, daytime, or you just want a consistent output regardless of the time of day. Next up, the thing I've been talking about this whole video, lead magnets. If you're not familiar with them, what a lead magnet is a piece of valuable content or an offer that you give away for free, okay? Keyword here, free, in exchange for the contact's information, with the purpose of starting a relationship with your potential customer. So they come in the forms of things like ebooks, you can do masterclasses, templates, guides, checklists, things like video sales letters, consultations, mini courses, whatever you can do. There's a million different ways you can provide a lead magnet. So how the natural progression works is on the YouTube ads themselves, a lead magnet captures the leads. People are going to trade their contact information in exchange for the lead magnet. And then once you have their contact information, they then become a cold lead, okay? From here, they then nurture the leads. So they move the leads from the cold section to now warm, to then qualified, etc. And each lead magnet that you give them, because you should be having multiple different lead magnets to solve multiple different problems, they should each solve a specific problem that your ideal prospect faces. And if you solve all of your prospect problems, they're going to begin to know, like, and trust you. And the more lead magnets they download, the more problems are being solved. The more problems they solve, the more inclined they are to trust you. The more trust they have, the more inclined they're going to work with you. You're going to close a deal. You get the point. And so the final point is you keep unqualified leads warm until they're ready to take the next step. So you're always top of mind, you're always providing value, and you're taking advantage of those people who are not yet qualified for your service in this way, so that you're top of mind whenever they decide to enter your market. You're going to be the first person they call. And then finally is your offer and your call to action. So this is where you're going to position your lead magnet or offer as the implementation to solve the prospect's problem. So your call to action needs to have a clear direction. So if the next step on your ad is to book a phone consultation, you're going to lay that out step by step. If the next step is to opt into a lead magnet, lay that out, and so on. But the point is, you want to position your lead magnet offer as the solution to solve your prospect's problem. Now, if you're interested in implementing YouTube ads for buyers and sellers and don't want the hassle of setting up yourself, or you just want to leave it up to the experts, this is exactly what my agency does. We set up your ads, your lead magnets, and offers, and even manage your campaign so it's completely hands-off. If that's something you're interested in, click the link in the description of this video and book in a time to speak with me. Aside from that, that's the end of this video. Peace.